driver. All right, field getting the green flag in our vintage 15 lapper as it's going to be the 13 of Gerald Shannon grabbing that lead. 41 of GT Bowie tucking into second. 6C of Tony Catlett, Dylan Alton in that 26 machine as they'll make their way back for lap number one. And a spin by the 26 Alton down in turn 4 on the initial lap. So Birch Oil, Birch Propane caution quickly making its way out. All right, green flag back out. Try number 2 and going to be the 13 of Gerald Shannon once again grabbing that lead. Catlett putting a little pressure on Bowie for the moment, and now the 41 of Bowie grabs the gear and he'll close up the gap a little bit. Shannon leads lap number 1. Tina Shannon, pole sitter out of Nanjamoy, Maryland. 41 of Bowie, as we mentioned, the one-time winner, hailing in a Faulkner, not far from him. As they make it back for lap number 2 in our 15-lapper. 6C of Tony Catlett back there in third spot. Alton in the 26, holding on to fourth. And we've hit the 1/3 mark of our 15-lapper. Shannon leading from the outset. Into 13 as he'll bring it back into 1 and 2. 41 of JT Bowie still within striking distance. Just about 3-4 car lengths back in second. Catlett in the 6C remains back there in third spot. Out in fourth as we begin lap number 6. Problems for Alton again. That Torino looks like he's going to go into the pit area. The 26, also the rookie in the street stocks and one-time feature winner, having troubles earlier tonight. All of a sudden, here comes JT Bowie closing that gap up here at lap number 7 as we close in on halfway here in tonight's vintage full-bodied stock car feature event. 6C, Tony Catlett, not far behind, but watching this battle ensue as we'll put halfway on the board this time by. trail Gerald Shannon by a few car lengths. 5 laps to go, and they make their way back to the stripe. 13, making the 41, I should say. JT Bowie, the one-time winner, right on that rear bumper. As he headed back into 1 and 2, Shannon slips up a little. Bowie down to the inside. Drag races on. You heard both of them putting the foot to the floor as they headed off, and Bowie almost spins. He really got tight, and there goes Shannon. They both make contact in turn number 4. And Bowie with some front-end damage. That is going to knock his night out. The 41 was not going to be able to get that second victory of the season. 13 of Gerald Shannon. Also going to check the damage on him. And good old Tony Catlin, that 6E. He just sitting back in that big old Ford watching that battle between those two smaller Ford machines. So we will see what becomes of Gerald Shannon. As you saw, JT Bowie saw the opening off at turn number 2 and got down to the inside. And then a little bit of contact. They tried to ease up on each other, and it looked like Bowie was about to go around. And then Catlin, or I should say Shannon, slowly began to drive around, and Bowie was right down underneath of them. They both made contact. Just incidental for them, unfortunately. But it may knock out both. We'll see what Gerald Shannon's status will be. 26 at Dylan Allen said, I'm going to put that Torino back out there. I make sure I have a shot to win this thing. Modified Mafia 30-lap event coming up next, followed by the limited late model street stocks and our roadster division. And not a good sign when the tow truck is pointing that spot. Let's see what happens with Gerald Shannon. Gerald Shannon able to pull away under his own power. A little bit of damage on that 13 machine. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be the 6C of Tony Catlin. He will be the leader when we get back to green. Shannon will be second with the 26 of Allen in third spot, as we've got 10 down, 5 to go in our vintage full-bodied stock car main event. Everything cleaned up down in turn number 4. We get set for a green flag here in a few moments. You saw down there the 41 of Bowie couldn't quite turn the car all the way into the pit area with that right front damage, so he's getting the hook here in the entrance of 1 and 2. All right, field set to go back to green. 6C of Tony Catlett inherits that number 1 spot. We'll see about the damage on the 13 of Gerald Shannon, whether he'll be up to snuff and be able to get back around him. He'll be second. 26 of Dylan Allen third with 5 to go in our vintage full-bodied stock car. Main event green flag back in the air. Catlett's got the lead, but here comes Shannon. Back down to the inside. See if he can re-challenge for that number 1 spot. Catlett's going to have him covered. Shannon a little out of shape off at turn number 4 here at lap number 11. 26 of Allen remains in 3rd spot. Leaders back in 1 and 2. Catlett holding that big body forward in the right direction. Going to be Shannon shadowing him in that 13. Lap number 12 about to be complete. Catlett brings him back again. Shannon trying to make a run down to the inside as he'll pull it down bottom, but Catlett's running a good line and making it tough for Shannon to do what he wants to do. Now he'll step on the gas one more time. Draws even down in turns number 3 and 4. Catlett giving him plenty of racing room. 2 laps to go this time by. Here comes Gerald Shannon back in front. And he will secure the number 1 spot. Catlett right on the bumper off of turn number 2 as they head down the back straightaway. And our summer breeze, 1 to go, about to come out in the air. Gerald Shannon trying to rebound. A lot of smoke and sparks from that car. Can he hold on for one more lap? Oh, boy, she is just self-destructing on him. Catlett's going to go to the inside. And Tony Catlett, the 6C, will go by Shannon's 13, losing parts and pieces down the back straightaway. And the 6C of Tony Catlett off turn number 4 will pick up his first vintage full-body stock car victory of the season. Shannon holding on for dear life. That right rear is shot and a lot of other parts on it, but a valiant effort for the driver, the 13, as he comes home in second. The 26 of Dylan Alton will be third in tonight's vintage full-body stock car 15-lap main event. Coming up in a few moments, our 30-lap modified Mafia feature will be on track, followed by the limited late model street stocks and the SCDRA Roadsters. So again, JT Bowie, he had a rough night to begin with, and the 41, he was the opening winner in vintage action. Tony Catlett kind of got a bird's eye view of that battle between him and Shannon, and then had himself a good battle with Shannon on the restart. And eventually, when it was all said and done, the 6C pulls himself into victory lane, and he will score his first vintage full-bodied stock car victory of 2025. Let's go down to VP Racing Fuels victory lane. There he is, Tony Catlett. Billy Hill with our winner tonight.
Okay, race fans, climbing out of his number 6C, tonight's vintage feature winner, Tony Catlett. Tony, it looked like it was going to be the survival of the fittest out there, and
they say better be lucky than good.
yeah, I mean, at one point you were the only car left on the track. You know, you were.
And then my clutch ain't working. I don't know what happened to it. I lost clutch pedal there, so. But I thought Gerald, man, he should have won. I thought he had him covered.
Yeah, it looks like he got a right rear flat there with 1 to go.
Man, I seen that. It sucks for him. He come back up. I was like, well, he's going to get it, whatever. And then I seen the smoke down here. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then, yeah, I guess the tire went down, so sucks for him, man.
Yeah, definitely always puts on a good show. Shame the car count wasn't there where he wanted to be, but that might be the best feature finish of the night so far. I know it takes a lot to put these race cars together, and you got to thank all your crew and your sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank Kill Up Ford. They help us out, and Catlett Racing, and of course my wife, my daughter, my sister. They're always with me, so good to get it with Potomac. I've only been here twice, so I fell into one.
All right, sir. Well, definitely congratulations and enjoy VP Victory Lane. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, buddy, it's back up to you. Modified Mafia is up next.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Billy. Ladies and gentlemen, the vintage full fendered cars finishing up here at Potomac Speedway, and we are ready for the final race of the Labor Day weekend events here. It is the A main feature, your VP Racing Fuel making power A feature. 30 laps, $2,500 to the winner. All of this coming up as the drivers are getting lined up and they are getting ready to roll. The field assembled. We're down to the final 4 races if you count tonight. The 2 races at Bedford at the Troutman Family Memorial, which are points races, and then the race for the kids on Saturday night, October 10th and 11th, to determine the champion, the bragging rights at County Line Raceway. Coming off of the race at the line last night, heading to Bedford Speedway in PA coming up September the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And ladies and gentlemen, the field is lined up, and we're ready to go once these post-race, full vintage post-race interviews are finished, preliminaries and photos. Ready to get this thing started. Ladies and gentlemen, without a further ado, the field gets ready for your VP Racing Fuel Making Power A main feature. Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup from the back to the front for tonight here at the Labor Day Weekend Showdown finale here in Budds Creek, Maryland. On the pole, we'll see what Ray Cable will do, but we're going to introduce them from the rear on back. Moving on to row number 8 to the inside from Hayes, Virginia, car number 814. That is going to be Samuel Lamborghini. Moving on to the outside of row number 7, the car number 76 coming to us out of Clements, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Sugar Bear Dale Hollage. To the inside of row 7, starting 13th from Sherrinsford, North Carolina, the car number 11L. That's going to be Troy Loomis. Row number 6, starting 12th in the car number 10S from Troy, Virginia, Tim Schultz to his inside. The number 48 from Hanover, Virginia, or Doswell, Virginia. That's Lance Grady Jr. Back to racing here. Moving on to your top 10 starters. Outside row number 5 from Mechanicsville, Maryland. Of course, the driver of the number 28 Dynamic Drivelines National Rookie of the Year for the Modified Mafia Tour. The car number 28, that is Owen Lacey. Half pint. Half gallon, half pint. Moving on now to the next row. It's outside to his inside, Jim Manka, starting 9th from Rincon, Georgia, the car number 9. Row number 4 to the outside. These are your the drivers from the heat race, obviously, from Glen Burnie, Maryland. The 51 and Joey Poleboy, Mike Shojepka, then Poleboy, your heat winner. Then we got the guys from the climb to the pole. Row number 3 to the outside from Statesville, North Carolina, the AM Racing entry, Austin Wayne Self. Ryan Toole from Henrico, North Carolina. The rest of the lineup as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. We want you, Budds Creek, Maryland, to get up on your feet, get out of your seat. It's time to wave your hats, wave your hands, find something. Cheer these guys on. For the final time of 2025, Potomac Speedway, the home of the High Banks in Maryland. We present to you the dons of the Dirt Car Modified Mafia Tour. We're coming at you, Maryland 4 wide. We move on now to the next rows. Row number 2, starting 5th again, Ray Cable. We move on now to Chris Arnold, the Batoka Flash, from the outside to the inside. Or Ryan Toole, my apologies. Ryan Toole starting 5th. Then we move on to Chris Arnold, the Batoka Flash, winner last night at County Line. 4th win of the year, trying to sweep Labor Day. Points leader, Michael Altabelli from Saxton, Pennsylvania. And then it's the front row with Typhoon Tide Order from Mooresville. He's won here before in non-sanctioned races, and so has Ray Cable as well. From Westminster, Maryland, I say Sykesville, Maryland. That's your lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, our final event Our final send-off to you. Our final send-off to you on this Labor Day weekend 2025. Down to the final 4 races. The national championship hangs in the balance as they'll get ready to work their way to the Mahindra Tractors restart zone, though the vintage cars took out our flag twice this year. Once at Tyler County and here at Potomac, but nonetheless, they're in the box. They're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, your VP Racing Fuel, making power, a main feature underway at the home of the High Banks. You have a race. 30 laps, $2,500 to enter the winner as they work their way out the corner. Here they come side by side. There's the battle. Ray Cable, Ty Norder going at it. Side by side, Altabelli for the championship on the inside. Battling with Arnold. And that goes on now as they work their way again down into the corner. Everybody continuing to just hold their spots now. We're getting it started. Rumbling down into turn number 1 and 2. Obviously up in front. Still going to be Ty Norder. Here comes the inside move, and that's Ray Cable. Arnold up on the high side. He'll make a move on that car as they work their way down the back straightaway. Back down the front straightaway again now. Turn number 1 and 2. This is a 30-lap feature. Got to pace yourself, and somehow you got to decide what tire compound you used. As right now, Norder and Cable, bang fenders almost. Side by side going at it, side by side, sheet metal rubbing. But now Arnold in the mix at Altabelli as well. Side by side again, here comes now the battle. To the inside. Watching all of this going on. Norder on the bottom. Here comes now Arnold up top. Norder up top. Down Ty Norder. Chris Arnold, the leader. Corey, if you can hear me in the truck, you're showing the fastest times by qualifying. We need the race order. You got the wrong ticker on the string. Ty Norder is leading the race, not Chris Arnold. Caution out, 6 laps of 30. We got a problem with the scoring ticker on Sports Action TV. Hopefully they can rectify it and fix it. It's showing the overall fast time. We don't need qualifying times. We need race orders, running orders. Ty Norder is in the leader. He's in the lead. It is Ray Cable second, Chris Arnold third, Michael Altabelli and Austin Wayne Self, the top 5. Kind of aggravated with it. I got to text myself as right now we continue to watch these guys work around the racetrack, watching the driver Typhoon Ty Norder leading the way. So, we completed about 6 laps of 30. We'll get ready to try to get these field going again here as a caution comes out to slow things down. Early caution of the race. This 30-lap event, 24 to go. So the field will get the 1 to go indication. Obviously, we'll get them back up behind the leader, single file. And then we're 2 by 2 by there with Ty Norder in the lead. then Chris Arnold, then Ray Cable. Altabelli and Self, your top 5. Ryan Toole, Paul Voigt. How about Grady? Welcome back. Been a while since the 48's been on the modified Mafia. Here we come back to the Mahindra Tractor restart zone. We're back to green. And we got, whoa, hold on, Ryan Toole on the inside, losing a lot of spots, the 84. And they're going to call it back, and the caution will come out. So another yellow flag coming out here. I think they're going to let them have to reset and go again here. One to go indication coming up. Field coming back to the Mahindra Tractor restart zone. Back underway here at the home of the High Banks. A long Labor Day weekend coming to an end here before we head to Labor Day Monday. A lot of drivers going at it here. 3 wide as Norder way up high. Opens the door to Ray Cable. Here comes Ray Cable. He'll move to the inside. Ray Cable, the new leader in Typhoon Tide Order, is in trouble. The Jerry Foster Elite Chassis is free-falling like lyrics to a Tom Petty song. Going down into the corner is now Altabelli making a move on the machine of Arnold, but the caution is back out. Damage on the Elite Chassis. Jerry Foster entry of Typhoon Tide Order. Under the caution. As it stacks up the field, the front nose of the car has been embedded under the, if you will, the front end. They're having trouble trying to get that sheet metal and all that pulled out because it is right up under. Oh boy, there you go. Okay, good work. Many hands make light work. So it was about to be in front of the condenser, and they had to move that stuff around. Now they're tearing off sheet metal. You're going to see the exposed front of the skeleton on this modified Elite number 5 entry of Mooresville, North Carolina's Typhoon Tide Order. You see Danny pulling bars and sheet metal and maybe needing to get some parts and whatnot. They are in the hot pit. They're not per se behind the wall, so they are given a little bit of time to make repairs if need be. However, that's about to expire as the field will come to the 1 to go indication. The 1 to go indication being given. They'll come back. They'll come back to the Mahindra Tractor restart zone, or what used to be the Mahindra Tractor restart zone, because for the second time in the racing season, it got taken out. So they're at the cones here at Potomac. Iceman, Maryland's Ray Cable on the gas. We're back underway. Ready to see what's going to go down as they work their way back down on the corner. Alpha 2 on the back straightaway. It is Ray Cable. He's in that top spot, holding on to it right now, taking on all comers. Look at that 3-car battle now for second spot as they continue to work in it down the back straightaway. Man, what great racing we're watching. The running order is Ray Cable, Chris Arnold, Austin Wayne Self, Michael Altabelli, and Joey Polvoy. That's your top 5 right now. The guys work their way back around this. Boy, Chris Arnold, shower of sparks off the wall as he worked to the turn number 3. Bouncing it off the fences right now. Chris Arnold and Ray Cable going at it. How about Austin Wayne Self for the number 3 spot? He's got a good solid run going for him as well. 1, 2, and 3. We continue on to 2 laps to halfway on the Sunday night here in Maryland. By the way, weather conditions, you can't ask for better. Sunny skies, 76 today. It's right now clear skies and 59 in Maryland. These engines are going to purr. The perpetual thunder of 800 horsepower modified engines as Arnold and Cable almost tangle each other on the back straightaway, trying to move by lap traffic. That's Samuel Lamborghini. And they make contact with a lap car, and Chris Arnold got the short end of the stick. Everybody's going high to miss Arnold as he spins. Caution out, Chris Arnold goes around in 99. He was in second, got hung by a lap car. Here's your replay. Watch it on Sports Action TV. Cable clears him in the 90, and then Arnold into the left rear of the 814 of Lamborghini, and around goes the 99. County Line Raceway winner, 4-time winner, 9-time all-time winner. And it is the driver of Chris Arnold to put us under the yellow flag. Another caution here. 3rd yellow of the races right now. Brandon Reif is checking him out, making sure no fender rub, anything that could be considered dangerous. They can make adjustments. I will let you know that. Anything that can be considered hazardous, not safe, they can make the discretion to pull sheet metal. However, for the most part, it is a, hey, you've got a rub. Hey, you possibly might have a tire going down. You do have a tire going down. And right now, Chris Arnold fires back up here at Potomac and gets himself back into the race. Attention, limited late models. I believe Buddy Long is next, right? Yes, it is. Limited late models. 30 laps coming up next. By the way, I've got to prepare to go on the road, but Buddy Long and Sports Action TV will stay with y'all, as always, for the remainder of the races. We've got the limited late models, the street stocks, and the roadsters to close out the night on this Labor Day weekend here at the home of the High Banks in Budds Creek, Maryland. So, ladies and gentlemen, the field will come back to the Mahindra Tractor restart zone. We're ready to bring this one back to green as they'll get back to turn number 3 and 4. We have currently now 14 of 30 laps, $2,500 to win. They're back to the gas of the green flag here at the home of the High Banks. So let's see what Ray Cable will do. Hits the loud pedal down the back stretch. Powers his way to the top position, but Altabelli. Are you serious? There's the battle for the championship. Down to the final 4 races of the year. It is Ray Cable. It is Michael Altabelli. Are you not entertained, Maryland? Down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. It up on the high side. Here comes now a big rally backed by Chris Arnold. He's flying by cars. Chris Arnold is a man on a mission. He's driving like a man possessed, trying to sweep the Labor Day weekend of open wheel fury here in North Carolina and Maryland. As they work off the corner, he's making a run down on Joey Polvoy. Clears Polvoy. He's now in 4th. It is Austin Wayne Self, the next car he'll pick off as they work down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Ray Cable continuing to stay out front. Closing in on the final laps remaining here with 2/3 of the way completed and heading to 10 to go. Ray Cable up in the top spot. Michael Altabelli, Austin Wayne Self, Chris Arnold, Joey Polboy. Audience on Sports Action TV, there's something going on. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now you're caught back up. Now it's caught back up. I was about to say that it's not correct again, but now we're caught back up. Had to reset things with 10 to go. And Ray Cable, Michael Altabelli, ready to battle for the championship. You're watching it now as Chris Arnold makes his move on Austin Wayne Self for that number 3 position on the racetrack. By the way, we're under 10 to go, 9 remaining. Ray Cable, 9 laps to go. Ready for the finish of this one. So you've got some lap traffic that is trying to become a factor. You see Ray Cable trying to get around some lap machines. Trying to get around Tim Schultz, the Troy, Virginia driver. That's Ray Cable ready to not falter, hitting his marks. Here they come down the front straightaway. We're down to the final 5 remaining. 5 to go on a cool night. It feels like a fall night to close out summer here in Maryland. Right now, Ray Cable. There is the run for the national championship as we come down to the final 4. And we got a problem with one of the cars down to the inside. Lance Grady Jr. Smoke bellowing on the 48. Maybe a tire down on the 48 as he's way off the pace as the rest of the field flies by into 3 and 4. 4 laps to go. 4 remaining with lap traffic up in front. The Dynamic Drivelines National Rookie of the Year of Owen Lacey and Sherrills Ford, North Carolina driver Troy Loomis. And the leaders are taking them. Here they come off 4. Make your move. Pick your poison. Time to lay your cards on the line here in Maryland. 3 to go. There's a battle for a win, for a championship. It's the 90th Iceman Cable. Altabelli in 35, and they're right there with lap traffic, moving high, moving low, going to the inside, almost glancing off the National Rookie of the Year driver Lacey, and we got the penultimate lap of the race on board. 2 to go. Ray Cable, a man who's won here in modifieds, late models, and more, trying to put himself with a foot down to make a run to a championship. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. Final time, getting the Lamborghini. Altabelli will catch Lamborghini now, but he can't get Ray Cable. Here comes the Iceman, or will Cable come back? Altabelli up high. Ray Cable wins as he takes the twin checkers at Potomac. A $2,500 payday for Ray Cable, the Iceman. Ray Sr., your son's done it here in his home state of Maryland. And Ray Cable is trying to put a stranglehold to make it a 2-car battle towards a national championship.
Well, the storied Cable family tradition of winning has continued here. We remember Butch and Ray Cable Sr. many years in that iconic red and white and blue number 90. And, of course, we saw Ray Cable Jr. running the Calton Truck Service 01. He's driven many cars down here, and Ray is here once again tonight. And, of course, young Ray Cable III, he's also done well in late model sportsman and limited late model action, picking up a victory at Hagerstown Speedway and doing some racing in the full-bodied stock cars, but the modifieds truly are his passion as he is about set to get out of the car down in Victory Lane. Wesley's on his way down there, and he's going to do the interview for our modified Mafia winner tonight here at the Potomac Speedway. But how fitting that the Cable name is back in victory lane for yet another time here at the high banks of Potomac Speedway. As the modifieds wrap up, our limited late models, sponsored by Lexington Park, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, making their way into the St. Mary's Lighting Staging area. Their 30-lap, $2,000 to win feature event is going to be coming up here in a few moments as we get set for victory lane ceremonies down here at our latest modified Mafia deal. Austin Holcomb taking the victory earlier this year in modified Mafia action here in Potomac. And now Ray Cable III finds his way into victory lane for the 2025 season. As Wesley mentioned, a very tight battle for the championship with he in the 35 of Mike Altobelli, the 99 of Chris Arnold. Coming home in the number 3 spot, or actually he was rebounding and getting back up through the field. And Arnold was trying to crack that top 5, but that lap car got him. And there is Cable.
Here he comes. And ladies and gentlemen, winner here at Potomac. He calls the home of the High Banks home. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to the Iceman, Ray Cable. So Ray, I believe we got a camera here. We got our live TV camera over here in turn 1. So if you want to move that way, it'll be a better shot. By the way, Victory Sweet Apparel, congratulations, Ray. It's looking like it's going to be you and Altobelli for the national championship, and winning a race here at Potomac is pretty special, just the boot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always nice to come home and get a win. So it's really got the monkey off our back. I feel like we've been second and third so many times this year. It's really nice to get a win, especially at this place.
I'll tell you what a race between you and Altobelli Arnold, fighting through lap traffic, man. It was like slicing on a chopping board through the inside, outside, inside, top, bottom. You guys were just looking absolutely flawless going at it.
Yeah, that was the plan, to come out here and be flawless. Track had a little bit of character tonight. It made me not sure whether or not I wanted to go up top and try to get around them guys, but I knew somebody would be right on me, so I had to take the chance.
Well, Bud, I know this is your home. We got your awesome crowd of fans here at Budds Creek, Maryland, Potomac Speedway. This is your house, like Flow Rider says.
Absolutely. This will always be my home track, and this is the most fans I've seen in the stands pretty much at anywhere we've gone this year. I always love coming to Potomac and putting on a show for you guys, so thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, winner, give it up to the man, the Iceman, Ray Cable. They're going to do driver-only picture, and then they can let all the other family come in. But right now, driver-only, then everyone else. Michael Altobelli. The shots have been fired. I think you know that. But obviously, I think you're ready to battle this test. Your take of tonight, fighting through lap traffic, doing everything you could to put this Harding Motorsports entry to victory lane, just coming up a spot shy. But what a turnaround from last night at County Line, boss.
Yeah, Heath Motorsports. Heath.
I'm sorry, Heath. I'm sorry.
That was rough tonight. You were on the wheel the whole time. That's it's just tough to get around. So I actually wish we would have had like 32. It was tough, you know. Congratulations to Ray there. That's a good race. Wish I would have found the top down here in 1 and 2 a little bit there before the end, but it was so hard to get yourself up there because it was just so rough. So it was like just holding on, you know. But hey, after last night, keeping Ray right there, that's close enough, you know. I'd like to be in front of him, but we'll take that. We'll go on to the next one, and hopefully we can get her done next time.
So earlier, the conversation was you guys in the trailer having a powwow. Obviously, you could hear some of that on Sports Action TV, but was this the outcome? What is the plan to go to Bedford coming up for the Final Four?
Well, hopefully, yeah, like Ray said, this is kind of his home track. I got 50,000 laps around Bedford, so hopefully I can go up there and get her done at my home track and maybe be standing up one more spot next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. The Heath Motorsports entry 95 from Saxton, Pennsylvania. Give it up to Michael Altobelli and Austin Wayne Self. Ladies and gentlemen, a former driver in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, now driving for AM Racing, and you wanted to have a good night. I think you got to be pretty darn happy with tonight, sir. A top 3 podium. This has got to be like a win for you and the team, isn't it, sir? Cameras overhead in turn 1.
All right. Yeah, I mean it was rough, but it was fun. You know, I'm originally from Texas. I never rode a bull, but I felt like that was pretty close, right? I mean, it was really unpredictable. You know, there's sections in the race where I felt like, I'd start to find a rhythm, and then a few laps later, it quit working. You'd have to search and find something else, and the track was fun, really. The restarts were really racy, and like I said, earlier in the day we made some changes. The Regal was fun to drive tonight. Regal is really in the racetrack, so. I'm proud of the race car, proud of the guys that worked on the car, and it's pretty sweet.
So if there's two things that I could take away from this night, you told me earlier this afternoon when I was working on my broadcast notes for the broadcast this evening that you wanted to first make the climb to the pole and you wanted to have a really good solid night. I think you can put a check mark of an A or B for that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you qualify in the top six, you're locked in the top six, right? So I think the next thing on my list is the guys are probably going to tell me I need to work on the climb of the pole, man. I got to find something to get me excited for that thing. It's tough to get pumped when there's only one other car on the track. So that's the next thing I got to work on is being ready for that climb of the pole. And a lot of things checked off, for us personally with this race car, it was a lot of fun to drive. It worked really well, and I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is the man for AM Racing, giving up to Statesville, North Carolina, Austin Wayne Self. Hey, Brandon, so since the inception of Mafia, in one time or back-to-back during the holiday of Memorial Day and Labor Day, we come to Potomac. What's your take to say to these awesome fans until we see them next year in 2026?
That was a hell of a race. That's the race of the year so far. So I wish and Chris stayed in that, and that all four of them come there to the end. But just it's racing, things happen, and I hate that for Chris and Ty. They both had fast cars. It's just we wanted all four there at the end. That would have been a hell of a show for sure. But hope you guys enjoyed that. We appreciate Dave and everybody here at Potomac for allowing us to be here, and appreciate all you guys coming out. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you a couple times next year.
2026. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody at the World Racing Group, with Brian Carter, Samuel Triggers, and Dirt Car Racing, the Modified Mafia Tours, John Johnson, of course, Amber McCormick, our photographer. Thank you to Don Mercer, race director Joseph Aaron Swan, Mr. Brandon Reif. I'm Wesley Outlet. Thank you, yours, for being here at Potomac. God bless you all. Race fans, make some noise for all these drivers, especially Maryland's Iceman Ray Cable, winning here at the home of the High Banks. Don't go anywhere. Sports Action TV still live with Buddy Long on the call, the limited late models, and more around the corner as we continue to wrap up Labor Day. Back to you, Buddy.
All right, very good down there, Wesley. Thank you so much. And again, great job by Ray Cable III, Mike Altobelli, and Austin Wayne Self. Top three tonight in Modified Mafia action. Don't forget, Modifieds will be around on the Southern Maryland Small Car Nationals weekend. It won't be the Modified Mafia drivers, but some of our Modified guys that have been here so far this year will be on hand to do some battling, and I believe that is going to be coming up on Wednesday for their open practice session, and then they'll be here on Thursday, October the 2nd. We will have some qualifying for different divisions each night leading up to the Small Car Nationals night on Saturday, October the 4th. All right, limited late models being brought to you by Lexington Park Chevrolet Buick GMC, about set to do battle as we wrap up our victory lane ceremonies for the modified drivers downstairs. Great points battle going on, as Wesley mentioned, for the modifieds between Cable and Altobelli. Another tight one here, and it's going to be the front row that involves the two drivers fighting for the championship in 2025. That'll be Jeremy Pilkerton and Sam Archer. And we'll get that starting lineup for you in just a moment. right, race fans, 2 feature events in the books, still 3 to go. And now our Lexington Park Chevrolet Buick GMC Limited Late Models take to the Speedway. Led by our Leonardtown Ford 3 Mules Welding Pace Truck down the back straightaway. We mentioned coming into tonight, 14 points separation between the top 2 drivers in points. Lo and behold, those 2 are on the front row here in tonight's 30-lap $2,000 to win feature event. Coming in, Jeremy Pilkerton out of Loveville, Maryland, the one-time winner in the number 8 machine. He'll be on the outside of the 36 of Sam Archer out of Waldorf, Maryland, the driver that is chasing him. Row number 2, 22 of Russell Irwin out of Beaver Dam, Virginia, and the 6 of Austin Latham. As we get set, 20 are making 30 laps for our limited late models. Pilkerton will grab that lead using that high side momentum. Archer will tuck into second. Latham, the one-time winner, he picked up the last limited late model win here at Potomac Speedway, side by side with Russell Irwin back there for third as lap number 1 goes on the board. Good tight battle for the front 4 machines. And right now it's going to be Pilkerton. Archer right there on his heels. It's going to be Latham running the high line. Russell Wilson down low making the 22 of Irwin. He'll grab third. 08 to Joey Love likewise makes the inside move on Latham. Drop kicking the 6-pack. Lead to the number 5 position. Latham moving the crossover move down the back straightaway. Side by side for the number 4 position. Give it back to Latham here on lap number 4. Right now, Pilkerton by 2 car lengths over Archer. Another 2 back to Irwin. He was the top qualifier and one of the heat race winners tonight. Looking about 1,000 and keep that streak going. Right now, he's got some work to do, but plenty of time here in tonight's limited late model main event. 6 of Latham has settled into the number 4 spot. Love a little out of shape that time. The 08 machine off turn number 2. Gathers it back up. 95 of Connor Morgan back in 6th position. 25 and Jonathan Braley holding on to 7th. 8th going to the 14C of Chuck Bowie. 9th to the 37 of Bone Break. And the top 10 by the 19L of Brandon Long. 2 of Deuce Wright off the pace down the front straightaway. One of our limited late model drivers doing double duty also in street stocks. He'll make the left-hand turn into the pit area. And we stay green here on lap number 6. Everybody pretty much single file for the moment. Pilkerton leads that charge off at turn number 4. Opening up a little bit of a gap, maybe about 5 car lengths over Archer. He's got Russell Irwin only a car length back to that number 3 position. Latham spins it off turn number 2. He'll whip it around, cloud of dust, another 360. And Latham in the cloud of dust. Caution's going to have to come out. That's going to be obscuring the racetrack. He does continue on, but a tough break for Austin Latham, losing it over in turn number 2 while running fourth. And he'll gather it back up as our Birch Oil, Birch Propane caution coming out here at lap number 7 in tonight's 30-lap main event. Field settling back down after 7 of 30 in the books, led by Jeremy Pilkerton. Going to be the 36 of Archer. He's had Irwin to deal with. Back there in the number 3 spot. 4th right now, the oi to Joey Love. Latham going to give it a shot, see if he can get that spot back, but he's going to have to go to the rear end of the field by bringing out the caution off of turn number 2. Never hurts to try. Your top 2 in points here are the top 2 on the track right now. 14 the gap over Sam Archer. He's Jeremy Pilkerton right now in search of his second victory. Both of them as likewise are 22 of Russell Irwin, still looking for victory number 1, his second appearance here in the 2025 season. Already everybody doubling up. The Delaware double file getting ready to start. Pilkerton will be at the point. Going to be Archer and Irwin back in row number 2. Love in the 08 machine and the 95. Camden Morgan, he'll be on the outside of that third row. We'll get the one to go indication this time by. So 7 quick ones in the books. We'll see what Austin Latham can do from the back end of the field. The one-time feature winner, as Pilkington will lead him back to the green in a few moments. We're about to hit the Leonardtown Ford restart zone. Archer and Irwin back in row number 2. Green flag back in the air. Irwin going to try the same move on Archer, and he may get 2 spots. Pilkington throws a block on. Irwin got to the outside of Archer, got second. He's using top shelf. Here comes Irwin. He'll grab the lead off turn 4. Great move for Russell Irwin. He went top shelf and got 2. And here comes Joey Love likewise. The 08 around Sam Archer. Down to the inside of Jeremy Pilkington. Love is on the move. Irwin will be the leader of lap number 9. Pilkington will be second. Love all over the rear deck lid of the 8. And then Archer and the 25. Jonathan Rayleigh, they're now the top 5. Morgan to the 95. He's back in 6th. And again, a caution out on the Speedway. One driver in trouble down in turn number 4. That's going to be the 14C of Chuck Bowie, bringing out our second Birch Oil Birch Propane caution here in our limited late model main event. What a great move. Pair of moves by the 22 Russell Irwin. He said it's time to go top shelf. He got around 36 of Archer off turn number 2 and then continued off of 4 around the number 8 of Jeremy Pilkington, now in the number 1 spot. As we mentioned, we've had several different winners. The next 3 in line behind Irwin, they have already got a victory. So Irwin trying to add to the win total here in Potomac. That would be the 6th different driver in victory lane, joining Kyle Hardy, Sam Archer, Joey Love, Jeremy Pilkington, and Austin Latham. So Irwin now at the point, top qualifier and heat race winner, but long way to go. 9 of 30 in the books. Joey Love also very impressive on that restart. The 08 also saw what Irwin was doing. He decided to go to the outside. Got around the 36 of Archer. Almost got Pilkington likewise. He'll be 3rd on the restart. Archer back in 4th. 25 of Jonathan Rayleigh now up into the number 5 position. All right, field stack back up. Going to be Irwin at the point. Second leader of tonight's limited late model main event. Love to the inside of Jeremy Pilkington. As we get set to go back into green in Leonardtown Ford restart zone. Irwin brings them back to the line. And it will be Joey Love. He took the inside line and grabbed the number 2 spot. That 08 machine also working very well. Pilkington now back into the number 3 position. Archer, he's got the Hornet's Nest behind him. Austin Latham's been on the move. Got around the 95 of Connor Morgan moments ago. That puts him back up into 6th, and he's on the hunt, trying to get around the 25 of Jonathan Rayleigh. Leaders back in 3 and 4. Going to be Irwin bringing it back. Lap number 11 will go on the board this time by. Beyond the 1/3 mark of tonight's 30 lap limited late model main event. And watching Latham getting around the 19L. Brandon Long, he lost a couple spots and he spins it again. Twice in the same spot for Austin Latham. Caution again out in the same spot and the same time for the number 6 of Austin Latham. That is number 2 as he was working his way from the back end of the field. And Latham looks like he might duck into the pit area this time by. The one-time feature winner going to head down to pit road. And gotten up into about the 6th position, was on the move and then dropped back a couple of spots and then went into 1 and 2, and she went back around on him one more time as he'll go to the attention of his crew down on the pit lane. Irwin to the 22 at the point, 11th down of our 30-lap main event. Good run by Joey Love. Normally that outside line would work on a restart, and he was able to sneak by Jeremy Pilkington and gain that number 2 position. Pilkington will start on the outside here on the second row on the restart. Sam Archer, Jonathan Rayleigh back in row number 3. Camden Morgan, Brandon Long back in row 4, followed by Bonebreak, Culver, Penn, and Latham. Slowed him down when he came back through 3 and 4, and it was a very tight restart. That 22 at Beaver Dam, Virginia, looking to see if he can crank it back up one more time. Green back in the air. Irwin again with the lead. Pilkington threads a needle. He got to the outside of Archer, almost lost another spot, and looked like he was about to get around Joey Love. Right now for the moment, Love's got second. Pilkington haunting him off of turn number 4. Going to be Archer in the 36, holding on to 4th. 25, Jonathan Rayleigh, top 5. Camden Morgan chewing away on Rayleigh. He's trying to get into the top 5 as well. Brandon Long back behind him, then Culver, and the 37 of Bonebreak. Latham did make it back out, but now he's brought the 6 back down the St. Mary's Lighting pit lane. And we put 13 on the board, closing on halfway here in tonight's 30-lap main event. Once in front, Irwin starting to check out just a little bit. 5, 6 car length advantage on Joey Love. The same interval back to the 8 of Jeremy Pilkington running 3rd. Followed by Sam Archer and Jonathan Rayleigh. Everybody single file in 1 and 2. Cross flags in the air this time for Irwin. 15 quick ones in the book and 15 to go tonight. Top 4 pretty well secure in their spots. Biggest challenge or closest would be back there with a 25, but Jonathan Rayleigh has got the number 1 or number 5 spot. He wants to hold on to that and move up. And Camden Morgan, that 95, he's been haunting him. 19 yellow Brandon Long back there in the 7th spot. After that, Richard Culver, Wesley Bonebreak, and the 41 of Jason Penn. 17 in the books tonight here at Potomac in the Lexington Park Chevrolet Buick GMC Limited Late Model $2,000 to win event. And Irwin will close in on the slower machine of Jason Penn here in about a lap or so as he works it back into turn number 1 and 2. Right now with a good half-turn lead over Joey Love, who almost lost it in turn 2 as well. He's got a good, healthy margin over the 8 of Jeremy Pilkington. And then another 5 back to the 36 of Sam Archer. Lap number 19, that time by. Irwin works to the inside. The lap machine of Jason Penn. And right now he's got plenty of breathing room. A good turn up into the next car. That would be the 37 of Wesley Bonebreak. And we've got 10 circuits to go here in tonight's 30-lap A main event. And Bonebreak's got trouble. And the 37F, he was about to go a lap down and does. Limping down the front straightaway here at lap number 21. Hagerstown, Maryland product just finished 3rd in the late model sportsman points. Looks like something's wrong on that right rear. Car didn't look like it had a flat, but he's definitely got some suspension issues. And Bonebreak about to put it off into the pit area. Meanwhile, Irwin checking out off at turn number 2. 22 in the books. Half straightaway advantage over Joey Love. And it's Pilkington. He's working on the lap machine of Jason Penn. He's got Sam Archer closing the gap on him. And the 25, and Jonathan Rayleigh still making up the top 5. Bonebreak hits the pits this time on lap number 23. Irwin off at turn 4. 24 in the books tonight here at Potomac. And now the 19 Hella Brandon Long. He has got some issues on that right rear. And he'll pull that machine back behind the pit wall likewise. 5 laps to go here in tonight's limited late model main event. And trouble at turn number 2. Morgan and Penn. They'll get together. Penn continues. Morgan sets idle. And our latest Birch Oil Birch Propane caution back out. The 95 of Camden Morgan bringing out the caution, getting tied up with a 41 of Jason Penn, our lap machine. And caution back out with 5 circuits to go here in tonight's limited late model main event. Not what Russell Irwin wanted to see. He was well on his way because that series of green flag racing pit a couple drivers. Wesley Bonebrake and Brandon Long found their way back into the pit area as Irwin was checking out and well on his way. The 08 of Joey Love will be second on the restart. The 8 of Jeremy Pilkington, 36 of Sam Archer in the 25. Jonathan Rayleigh, the top 5. Coming up next will be our 15-lap finale tonight for the Adams Property Works Street Stock drivers, and then the 15-lapper for the J&R Towing SCDRA Roadsters. Plenty of good racing action left here at Potomac tonight, and some good hard-fought battles out there. Tony Catlett taking our vintage race earlier tonight. And then Ray Cable, the tradition for the Cable family, continuing on with the modified Mafia victory. Well, Russell Irwin wants to create a new tradition. He wants to be the newest winner in limited late model action. He's got 5 circuits to do it. Green flag back in the air. Peeled off at turn 4. Lap number 26 on the board, and Irwin up to the gearbox quickly, so to speak, and opens up a good 5-car length pad. Going to be Joey Love in second, Pilkert in third, followed by Sam Archer and Jonathan Rayleigh. 34, Richard Culver back in 6th, 95 of Morgan 7th, 41 of Jason Penn is 8th here at lap number 27. Two laps to go to another limited late model winner. It could be Russell Irwin from Beaver Dam, Virginia. Started third here in tonight's feature, as we mentioned, top qualifier, and won his heat race. He has bat 1,000 here in tonight's limited late model action at Potomac Speedway. As he comes back, the white flag is in the air. Joey Love in second, Pilkington holding on to third. As the leaders head down the back straightaway for the final time here in tonight's limited late model action. Kyle Hardy's done it twice. Archer, Love, Pilkington, Latham, Yukin, and Russell Irwin to the list of winners in limited late model action tonight here at Potomac. Joey Love comes home in second. Jeff Pilkington, make it Jeremy Pilkington. Sam Archer and Jonathan Rayleigh, they will be your top 5 here in a very fast-paced limited late model event. But what a night for Russell Irwin. The driver out of Beaver Dam, Virginia, started third. And on a restart, he found his way on the outside around Archer off of turn 2, around Pilkington off of turn 4, and after that, surviving a couple of cautions and eventually coming away with a very convincing 30-lap limited late model feature event victory tonight here at Potomac Speedway. Points battle, well, it's going to open up a little bit. The 08 of Joey Love comes home in second. Pilkington, the point leader, he'll be third. 36 of Sam Archer, though, not going to let him too far out of his sights. He came in 14 points behind him. He finished in 4th tonight, right behind Pilkington with the 25. And Jonathan Rayleigh making up the top 5 tonight. But as we mentioned, Kyle Hardy, a 2-time winner this year. Sam Archer, Joey Love, Jeremy Pilkington, Austin Latham. We have found winner number 6 in our Lexington Park Chevrolet Buick GMC limited late models here at Potomac Speedway. And to get some words with our limited late model winner, Russell Irwin, let's take it down to our VP Fuels Victory Lane with Billy Hill.
Okay, race fans, give it up for tonight's limited late model feature winner, Russell Irwin. Come on over, Russell. First of all, sir, congratulations on the win. Sweeping the night with the fast time, the heat race win, and coming away with a pretty smooth power move there on the restart. You got Archer on the outside, and you were able to get around Pilgrim and coming off a 4. Let's talk about that race.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of rode there. I just figured I'd wait till a caution, and if I could get that outside, I knew there was something there. I qualified up a little higher than most of the rest of the guys. So, as long as you can get through them little bit of bumps, and it's a little bit of character, but as long as you can get through them and keep it on all 4 tires, I felt like I could get a good grip up there and get around them guys. I just needed to buy my time, and we was up at Lernerville for the last 2 nights, and we won Friday night, and last night I probably bided my time a little too long and wound up second. After inverting me back to 5th, and so I kind of, I wanted to come here and win. I ain't slept since Friday, so we loaded up last night after we were done at Lernerville, and got everything loaded in the truck and hauled ass back here. Drove all night. I let all my crew guys sleep, and I was going to try to sleep today, but I couldn't sleep, and just had stuff to do, and I didn't want to leave them out there working on stuff. So I just stayed out there and worked with them, and got things turned back around to run tonight. And racetrack's got a little character, but it's not terrible. I'd like to see it just a little bit smoother, but it made for a good race. You can move around down it, and the holes kind of, and the bumps kind of cause people to mess up a little bit. And I think them guys were just kind of got themselves married to the bottom, trying to stay out of that rough stuff. And I just, I didn't really have anything to lose running 3rd, so I just said I'm gonna send it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough field here. It's 6 different feature winners. You add yourself to the list here, winning again here. You're no stranger to victory lane at this place. And then David and Missy have really put a lot of time and effort in trying to get this track in good conditions. I think the track conditions are getting better and better. So we'd like to see you back again. But I'm sure you got a lot of sponsors and crew that you need to thank on this hot rod. Without them, it probably wouldn't be possible.
I mean, Eric Wells is, this new Infinity champion. They just build them last, and these things are absolutely phenomenal. We were off a little bit when we started the year, and we just kept working on it. I'm on the phone with him constantly, and just trying to find a good balance for me. I'm telling you what, ever since we've got a balance that suits me and the way I like it, this thing has just been absolutely awesome. This car, they're both just absolutely unbelievable cars. They drive so good. I get up and get through them holes, and I couldn't ask for a better car, really. James Stevens, he does the shocks on this stuff, and everything that they're doing is just it really suits me. So huge thanks to Jim Stevens and Eric Wells both. Chris Sumner for building us a heck of a motor there with Power Source, and we've had some struggles with some carburetor stuff here, but we put a brand new carburetor on it today and tried it here, and it was absolutely awesome. Restarts good, it runs good. So huge thanks to all them guys. Witten Brothers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Possum's Quarter Farms, Collins, Fritz's Car Care, M&L Groceries, Kaiser Manufacturing, Johnson Motors, just everything helps. Thomas Clark Performance. There's so many people, man. I couldn't do it without them. Really couldn't.
All right, sir. Well, congratulations and enjoy a well-deserved VP victory lane. All right, we got our runner-up.
Yeah, Russell's he's one of the best in this tri-state area, so running a close second to him. What I thought that was close for how good he is, but yeah, I got up top. I was a lot better up top than the bottom. And then once we got on that long run, the top was smoother, and I was just trying to find the smoothest way around. But I thought if I can keep them in my sights and wind the laps down a little bit, I could maybe get an edge on them. But Russell doesn't slip up, so he got through the ruts a lot better than I did. If I got through them a little bit better, I think a couple of adjustments I'd like to go back and make for a track like this. But all in all, a good night. Coming from 6 and a
Check my check. There it is. It definitely takes a lot of crew and sponsors to keep these race cars hit the track. If we think of crew and sponsors.
Yeah, this is actually a new car. We just put it together last night. We were up to about 2 in the morning getting it together, and then we didn't get here until about 20 minutes for hot laps. So it's a little rougher racetrack than we like on a new car we just put together, but to come out here and run second with it. It's Ray Love Concrete car. It's their motor. I just jumped in it, so I put my car back to a crate. But my dad, Ray Love Concrete, my brother John, BMF race cars. This is the second BMF we got at a Corey Hedgecock. They had some fun. Thank you.
All right, well, congratulations, sir. Jeremy, if we can get you to walk up here. All right, race fans, your third place finisher tonight, current point leader here in the limited late model, Jeremy Pilkerton. Jeremy, you started off there good. You had him covered there at the beginning, and then that caution came out, and it looks like this Russell took that high side. He was able to get around you, and same thing with Joey, but we're coming down to one more points race after tonight. Gives you a little more of a cushion. You're probably going to be around 19 points or something like that, so I know that's got to be on your mind for the next race. You want to talk about that run a little bit?
Yeah, I felt really good in the beginning, and then I went into one, and I just destroyed a hole down there, and it shut the car off, and it never steered the same after that. And on the center and on the exits, the front end was just bouncing really, really bad. So I think it probably blew the shock out, and I knew once that happened and the caution came out that I was probably not in a good spot anymore. But yeah, we just kind of held on there, and I was just kind of riding, hoping that something would change, but the shock or something's blown out in the front end. So go back and fix it, and the points thing, I'm not really worried about it. You know, I spent my time worrying about that when I was younger. It's over now. You know, I still have to go to work Monday morning, so no one's going to be like, "Oh, it's the champion." You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of sponsors in your car, your crew, and everybody helps you out. And give a quick shout out to them, and we get these street stocks up here next.
Yeah, I got to thank my guys, Matt, Aaron, Kyle, CJ, Ryan, my dad, Jimmy Quaid for helping me a little bit tonight. Definitely Doc, I know he's in the stands tonight, Alexander Chiropractor, Brady Mechanical, East Coast Construction, Nelson Seal Coating, Able Auto Glass, Dean Guy Masonry, Maga Mechanical Contractors, Loveville Lawn Care, Hughesman Seafood, Alvey Brothers, Riverside Heating and Air, CNC Plumbing, everyone on the car, man, they help us a lot, and we'll come back and do a couple more shows.
All right, Jeremy, well, congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, buddy, back up to you.
All right, great limited late model show, and here comes our Adams Property Works Street Stock Division drivers. 25, your point leader, Wyatt Hansen up front, the most recent Street Stock winner, that being the 12X of Kyle Randall. On the outside of row number 1, Mason Hansen, the 28H, the 2 of Deuce Wright, they'll be in row 2. 67 of Johnny Oliver, the 93, the rookie and one-time winner Dylan Down back in row 3. Then the 23R, Ricky Edmonds, Bailey Tolson of the 18T. The 18 of Dalton Tankersley, 23W, Billy Roble, they're back in that 5th row. 89 of Scott Wilson, the 12 of Johnny Birch, the M1, powered by Wayne Hartley, and the 411 of Matt Tarbox. 15 laps coming up for our Adams Property Works Street Stock Division. And it'll be Randall. He got a good redraw that intermission that gets him up there, and he has propelled himself up into the number 1 spot early around the point leader. And 2-time winner Wyatt Hansen. Randall, leader of lap number 1. Hansen in second. Here comes the 28H of Mason Hansen, holding on to third. 2 of Deuce Wright. He'll be in fourth. 67 of Johnny Oliver, top 5. 93 of Dylan Allen right behind him. Challenge right now for third. Looked like Wright wanted to get the inside. And Mason Hansen couldn't quite do it. And Randall puts lap number 2 on the board. Oliver really low in turn 1 and 2. Very unorthodox move trying to get around Deuce Wright. Couldn't quite make it stick, but a pretty good move. And Oliver's going to try it again down in turn 3 and 4 in that 67 machine. Wright in the 2. He's on the outside as they battle side by side for fourth. 93 of Dylan Allen looking on. Back in 6th position. All the while up front, 12X Kyle Randall, 2-car length advantage over Wyatt Hansen. Another 3 back to Mason Hansen. Oliver gets that position. That'll be 4th, followed by Deuce Wright. And then the top 6 made up by Dylan Allen. Behind them, Bailey Tolson in the 18T. He is back in 7th spot. Ricky Edmonds going to change that though. The 23R powers to the inside, and he'll take over 7th. Tolson now in 8th. Tankersley 9th, and Billy Roble, the 23W, rounding out the top 10 here at lap 5. We have hit the 1/3 mark of tonight's 15 lap main event. Top 3 very tight. Randall, Hansen, and Hansen as they work their way back into 3 and 4 and begin lap number 6. Street stock points coming in once again. Wyatt Hansen with a 36-point edge over Dylan Allen at 93. So for the moment, even though Hansen's not winning, he's got several positions over the 93 of Allen. He's busy back there trying to get in the top 5. He's back in 6th, working behind the 2 of Deuce Wright. All the while up front, only a couple of car length separation between your top 2 as you see Randall and Hansen working their way off of turn number 4. Randall left the door open, and that wasn't enough for Hansen to get alongside. But right now, he's on that rear bumper in turn number 1 and 2. Halfway on the board that time by 8 in the books in tonight's 15 lap. Adams Property Works, Street Stock main event. 28H of Wyatt Hansen. He's looking on. He's waiting for see what's going to happen. And Johnny Oliver at that 67, closing the gap up on the front 3 as well. And if it stays green, lap traffic may be a factor. Wayne Hartley and Johnny Birch, they're right there in turn 3 and 4. Only about a half turn in front of our trio of drivers working their way back here for lap number 10. 5 circuits to go. Wyatt Hansen going a little wide. Mason to the bottom side. They're trying to get around the lap machine of Wayne Hartley down the back straightaway. Kyle Randall had already cleared them as they come back for lap number 11. Randall still leaving that door open. He'll deal with the lap car of Johnny Birch. He'll give them plenty of racing room. Leaders going on the high side. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Randall by a car length. Hansen chopping right down in front of the lap machine of Johnny Birch. And right on the rear deck lid of Kyle Randall here at lap 12. Getting down to crunch time. And again, Randall running a little higher line. Hansen's car working pretty good down low, but can't quite get alongside when they get off onto the straightaways. They've got the lap machine of Billy Rebel to deal with, and they're also looking at 2 laps to go. Top 3 nose to tail back in turn 1 and 2. Randall trying to figure out Robel. He'll go to the inside of the lap machine. And Hansen, the 25 of Wyatt Hansen, he'll be right with him down into turn 3 and 4. Again, it's Randall up top. Wyatt Hansen down bottom. White flag in the air this time by. And trouble off turn 4. Johnny Oliver spins the 67. Caution will be out before we can get to that checkered flag. Our Birch Oil, Birch Propane caution coming down. Tough break for the 67 of Johnny Oliver, running 4th at the time, and a spinner off of turn number 4. Great race in action up front between Kyle Randall, Wyatt Hansen, Mason Hansen, and lap traffic, and that cools everything down for a few moments as they tend to Johnny Oliver down off of turn number 4. 93 at Dylan Allen, that will move him up one more notch of the owner up into 4th. And right behind him is going to be the 23R, Ricky Edmonds. He'll make the top 5 right now here at lap number 14. Once again, the finale tonight. Coming up, the SCDRA Roadster is being brought to you by J&R Towing, their 15-lap main event. We'll wrap things up tonight here at the Speedway. We got a good one cooking. Fans, again, don't forget, points winding down. Next event here at the Oval Track. Going to be coming the weekend of September 26th and 27th. Final points race coming up on Friday night for our 604 Crate Late models, the Limiteds, Hobby Stock, Strictly's, and the U-Cars. And then on Saturday, the 27th, the Darrell Hills Memorial. Great racing event coming up. The part of the Fall Clash Series for Jim Bernheisel's Super Late Models. 34 cars at Bedford Friday night. Mason Ziegler took the victory. And we're looking, hopefully, for a great field of Super Late Models for that $10,000 to win show that will come up on Saturday, September the 27th. Once again, the Street Stocks, Roadsters, Vintage Full Body Stock Cars will also be a part of the program. That will be the next weekend. We will be here on the Oval at Potomac Speedway. Definite problems on the back end of Johnny Oliver's car, and that 67 was rolling pretty good tonight in fourth position as he gets the hook in that fourth turn. Once again, coming in tonight, Wyatt Hansen, his lead by 36 over Dylan Allen. So this has helped Dylan a little bit, although he's still going to chase Wyatt down. And their championship run will be coming to a close later on next month as the 67 of Oliver getting the hook and heading off into the infield area. And we're setting up for a one-lap dash to the finish here in tonight's Street Stock main event. All right, want to go to the indication. We are set for the one-lap dash to the finish. Kyle Randall trying to do a back-to-back feature event victory. Right now, Wyatt and Mason Hansen both with 2 victories. Dylan Alton, Deuce Wright, and Kyle Randall all a victory piece so far this year. But Randall, very impressive in that 12X machine. He's going to have some strong competition. We have got a one-lap dash to the finish, and we are set. Back in the Leonardtown Ford restart zone, possibly the final time. Randall knows it's the white and the green, and this is it. And Mason Hansen on the move, or I should say Wyatt Hansen, draws down to the inside. Challenge side by side off turn number 4. The drag race is on, and Kyle Randall takes it again tonight. Wyatt Hansen in second, Mason Hansen, Dylan Alton, and the 23R Ricky Edmonds, the top 5. Well, boy, when you got a Hansen on your heels, it's some serious heat, and Kyle Randall pumping that fist down the back straightaway in victory for the second consecutive time in the 12X machine for the driver out of Baltimore, Maryland. And we'll get some words with him in VP Racing Fuels Victory Lane. Very impressive win and a great street stock event tonight here at Potomac. Once again, fans, don't forget the SCDRA Roadsters will be up in a few moments. They will have their 15-lap event being brought to you by J&R Towing in another very tight points battle, and those Roadster class drivers as well. All right, Kyle Randall, he went to the scales quick. He got the check out. He wanted to get back to victory lane. This was a biggie for him. Billy Hill, 2 in a row for the driver of the 12X. We'll take it down to Billy for VP Fuels Racing Victory Lane.
Yes, sir, buddy, for the second time back-to-back tonight's Street Stock feature winner, Kyle Randall. All right, Kyle. Well, took a little time to get you here for the first time, and you come back here, you do it back to back. You had a very good pill draw, put you right there on the outside where I know you like to be. And I don't know what you figured out in this 12X, but you got it. The Hansons were all over you, but you were able to pull them off. I know that you did not want to see that late race caution. Wyatt was all over you, but you were able to hold them off. Let's talk about that race.
Yeah, like I said in the pill draw,
Yeah, definitely. Let's walk up here a little bit. Yeah, you definitely put on a show. All the races tonight have been really well. They've come down to pretty much the very end, and you said you saw his nose, but you were just able to pull off and hold him off.
yeah, no, the car started really freeing up there towards the end, and I thought I was going to step on my own pecker again like I did a couple weeks ago, but I don't know. I saw the grader out here earlier, and it kind of scared me a little bit. They started scraping it. I was like, man, the track surface was perfect. But my buddy said the high side was there, so I said, screw it. I was going to go up there. I was going to put it up there and let her eat.
All right, well, it definitely takes a lot of sponsors and crew to help get these cars to and from the racetrack, at the racetrack, and work on them at the racetrack. You want to tell us about your crew?
Yeah, I can't thank my dad, Chad, and Billy enough, man. I really don't do a whole lot, and when I do, it's very minor. But, I mean, we've got 4 brand new pair of shoes on this thing. I've never been on a brand new set of tires in my life. I mean, I usually use Jeremy's old sets that he gives me, and I just run them till I can't run them no more. So I got to thank them so much for everything. And, of course, all my sponsors, man. You know, Servicon Facilities, Mechanical Services, Arundel Fuel Injection Corporation, Brady Mechanical Service, R&S Auto and Truck Repair, Low Pro with the GoPro, Seaboard Asphalt. Just everybody that gives me any type of hand in this is absolutely amazing. And my wonderful fiance, which I get to marry here in a few months, that I forgot about in the last one, but I had to make it up this time.
All right, well deserved. Enjoy Victory Lane. Maybe we'll see you again before the end of this year.
I don't know. On this streak, we might keep coming to it.
All right, sounds good. All right, buddy, back up to you for the Roadsters.
There we go. All right, our SCDRA Roadsters being brought to you by J&R Towing, about set to do the green flag honors. 18 drivers on hand for their 15-lap main event tonight. As we mentioned, coming into the event, Justin Buttorf is the leader in that 46 machine by just a scant few points. It is just 8 tallies over the 99 of Steven Suit, and those two will start back midpoint of the field. Here's how they're going to line up. 69 of George Birch out of Lexington Park. He'll be up front. Joined by the 2A of Jay Lohman out of Dover, Delaware. He's had a good night. Row number 2, John Healy in the number 12 out of Chaptico, and Dominic King in the 18 from Waldorf. In row 3, Brian Skelly out of Inwood, Virginia, in car number 36, and the 07 of Trevor Hammett out of Mechanicsville. Row number 4, Justin Buttorf. That's your point leader, the 46 out of Hollywood. Fellow Hollywood driver Cody Buttorf in the 22 will be alongside. In row number 5, Serenity Schwartz out of Waldorf in the 222, and the 99, the number 2 point man, Steven Suit out of Chaptico. Row number 6 tonight, the 94, Justin Borman out of Callaway, and the 27M of Richard Martin out of Port Tobacco. In row 7, John Hammett III in the 65 out of Avenue, Maryland. Joining him, the 108 of Earl Whitehouse III out of Huntingtown, Maryland. Row number 8, Robert Martin in the 27 out of La Plata, and the 91X of Alan Griffith out of Winchester. And the final row tonight, Joe Suit in the 96 out of Chaptico, and the 47 of Alexandra Clark out of Mechanicsville. Those are the drivers remaining to battle it out in featured activity tonight. Our Leonardtown Ford 3 Mills Welding Pace Truck heads him down the back straightaway as we get set for the final 15-lap main event of the night here on a busy Labor Day weekend. So glad to have you with us here as our Roadster drivers get geared up. George Birch and Jay Lohman from the front row. Green will be out. 15 laps for our J&R Towing Roadsters. Lohman will grab that early lead. Dominic King of the 18, the one-time winner, powers up into second spot. Third will be the 12 of John Healy. He started there. Right now he's running third as they go into 3 and 4. The 07 of Trevor Hammett back in fourth. 22 of Cody Buttorf will be the early top 5 here in lap number 1. Lohman trying to work around one slower car. Looks like that's going to be the 96 of Joe Suit. Dominic King right on that rear bumper. Only a car length separation between those two, I should say, as they come off at turn number 3 and 4. Healy in that number 12. He's holding on to third. Buttorf in the 22 has moved around Hammett. And now Trevor's under attack by the 36, Brian Skelly. They work side by side, and Hammett will hold on to 5th position off at turn number 2. Skelly now with a good run down the back straightaway. He's got Justin Buttorf right onto his rear bumper, and they along with the 07 of Trevor Hammett. That's a good battle for the 5th spot as they come back for lap number 2. Meanwhile, up front, Dominic King is looking for that second victory in the season. Jay Lohman, he has had a good day today, and Lohman, he does. He loses a left rear wheel. Your leader loses a wheel down the front straightaway. Caution on the Speedway. Tough break for Jay Lohman in the 2A machine. He has had a good night. He was fastest in warm-ups. He was doing well in the heat race. Had the lead, and then all of a sudden she wiggled a little, and next thing you know, there went the wheel. And the 2A Lohman in Dover, Delaware are going to head off into the pit area, unfortunately. That will put Dominic King at the point in the 18 machine. Car number 12, John Healy. He started third. He's up to second. Cody Buttorf for the 22. He's made some strides. He started back at 8th position, already up to third. 46 is Justin Buttard, the point leader in fourth. And right now the top five made up by the 07 of Trevor Hammett. 4 laps complete here in our 15-lap main event, our finale for the night. Fans, again, as we come back on that weekend of the 26th and 27th, the Roadsters won't be here. Their next appearance is going to be on the Southern Maryland Small Car Nationals weekend in early October. Should be a great field of cars. We have got a good one tonight. New cars will be back on the program coming up on the weekend of the 26th and 27th. Final points nights for a lot of our lower division classes as they check on the J. Lohman machine. Not sure if Jay was good enough to see if he could get back out, depending on what happened, what broke on that wheel in the 2W. But again, a tough break for the Dover, Delaware driver, making that long tow over. Glad to have him here at Potomac Speedway with us tonight, and looking forward to having him back, hopefully, for that Small Car Nationals weekend in early October. Field is set. 4 laps are complete. Caution lights are out. Dominic King, John Healy, Cody Buttard, Trevor Hammett, and now the 36. Brian Skelly. They'll be the top 5 as we go back to green in Leonardtown Ford restart zone. Top 2 secure. Justin Buttard looking to move up a notch in the order. And Skelly in the 36 fell victim to that. Cody Buttard had some problems off the pace for the moment, gathered it back up, but that also hurt the 07 of Trevor Hammett. That allowed the 46 of Justin Buttard to get underneath of him and move him up into fourth. So right now, Dominic King of the 18, he's in control. 12 of John Healy, and now Buttard again, the 22 having trouble. Pickup problems or something, but he just can't keep it consistent speed, and that gives Justin Buttard the 3rd spot. Cody Buttard now in fourth, going to be the 07 of Hammett, running in 5th. 99 of Steven Sudi in the number 6 spot as they come back. And trouble, fire on the 07. Fire on the 07 of Trevor Hammett. Thinking that line may have broken on that car, trying to get that 07 out, and quickly Trevor's out of the car, thankfully. Very scary moment down here on the front straightaway as our crew's trying to see if they can get that fire put out on that machine. Tough break for the 07, but so glad he was able to stop it and get out very quickly as they quickly try to extinguish the flames on that 07 machine. Trevor coming in tonight 3rd in our series points and having a very consistent run, but not sure if something knocked the line off and just created that fire. Everything looks like it's about to be put out, and Trevor is okay, and that's the good news. Well, Labor Days are for weekend barbecues. I don't think that's what Trevor wanted, though. Not in the 07 machine, and fortunately, everything worked out for him to get out of the car. Thanks to our Potomac safety crew. They've been busy tonight here on this Labor Day weekend. Our hats off to them for all the hard work that they've done. As we're taking a look at it on the Sports Action TV screen, and we can get a good view of the front of that machine from our camera angle, and our camera guys off on turn number 1 and 2, and we'll take a look. And Trevor quickly got out. That car really erupted in flames, and in no time Trevor was out of that machine, thankfully. And Now they're going to go ahead and get that car hooked up and a little bit of cleanup work down in turn number 1. Be back to green flag action here shortly. 6 laps of our 15 complete here in tonight's feature event. Good job by our drivers to go ahead and work some of that foam back in from the fire extinguishers. They worked it through. Everything looks pretty good. It looks like we'll get the one-to-go indication this time by Dominic King of the 18 in search of victory number 2. The 12 of John Healy looking for that first. 46, Justin Buttorth, your point leader, now up into third. The 22 of Cody Buttorth in fourth. And the 99, one-time winner Steven Suit. Also number 2 in our SCDRA points here at Potomac Speedway, rounding out the top 5. 6 are down in our 15-lapper as we close in on the halfway point. Great flag back in the air one more time, and Justin Buttorth quickly to the inside of Healy. He'll grab the number 2 position in that 46. Side by side behind him. And looks like Cody Buttorf also trying to gain a spot. And trouble for one driver. Healy in the number 12 climbs the banking. Slows a few drivers up there as well. But Healy coming to a stop high in turn number 3. And our Bergerol Birch Propane caution quickly coming back out. We are still at lap number 6. Tough break for the 12 of John Healy, again starting third in tonight's event, running very well for our first 6 circuits, but problems led him to have to go on the hook, and he's headed off into the infield here. Closing on halfway, again, Dominic King still up front. Justin Buttorf, this has worked to his advantage. The 46 started a little bit further back in the field tonight. Back in 7th, and these cautions, as well as plucking a few drivers off here and there, is falling right into his wheelhouse. He is up into the number 2 spot. Cody Buttorf will be 3rd, Steven Suit 4th, and the top 5 made up by the 65 of John Hammond. Hammond also having a pretty good run. Started 13th. He's now up into 5th as we get set for the restart here on lap number 6. it back up to green, and Justin Bodar wasted a little time drag racing, but caution out. Not the start they wanted. Pull it back. Try it again, guys. Trying again. Dominic King, Justin Butterworth, Cody Butterworth, Steven Suit, and John Hammett. Top 5 as we get set for the restart once again in the Leonardtown Ford restart zone. Leaders off into 1 and 2. Dominic King climbing the banking, but then cuts that wheel. And able to fend off Justin Butterworth down the back chute. Cody Butterworth, a very tight third. And down to the inside. Here comes Alan Griffith and that 91X. He made a power move on Steven Suit, and up into 4th he goes. Suit now in 5th. And the 65 of John Hammond in 6th. Griffith really on the charge. Came out of nowhere. But Dominic King will be your leader. 7 laps are complete. We'll hit halfway this time in our SCTRA main event. 8 on the board here in tonight's 15-lapper. By a car length over Justin Butterworth. No breathing room with Cody Butterworth on Justin's tail. Another 5 or 6 back to Alan Griffith, who's gained 2 spots at least on this restart as he worked off at turn number 4. 99 is Steven Sue trying to hold on to 5th. He's got the 65 of John Hammett all over that rear bumper. And back behind them going to be the 36. Brian Skelly in 7th. Leaders will be looking at 5 laps to go when they come back to the stripe this time. Dominic King in control right now. Justin Butterworth in 2nd. Cody Butterworth again having some issues. And now Griffith has problems down the back straightaway. Cars just seem to be almost like cutting off in one sense or another. But for Griffith, he is almost coming to a dead stop in turn number 4. And looks like indeed that's going to happen. And yet another Birch propane caution coming out here at lap number 12. Just can't quite seem to get this one done with all the issues on these cars. 91 and Griffith had a great restart, got around a couple of drivers that moved up into 4th, and then all of a sudden something went amiss on that machine, and he pulls it off into the infield area. Tough break for Dominic King. He had a good lead. He wanted to get away from Justin Butterworth, and now they still have 3 laps to go here in tonight's main event. Problems that were happening for the 22 of Cody Butterworth during that green. He also had slowed up again. Again, he's had some pickup issues or something of some nature that has really slowed him down on the straightaways. And now he pulls the 22 down to the St. Mary's Lighting pit lane as well. So the attrition rate growing pretty good. Pretty good collection of cars down there on the pit lane. Dominic King will be the leader again when we go back to green. Going to be the 46 of Butterworth, the 99 of Suit, the top 2 in the points. They are 2nd and 3rd. 65 of Hammett and the 36 now of Brian Skelly. They will be the top 5. night that started with 18 in the field. We are trimmed down to 8. We know we had some attrition with some drivers unable to make it down for the initial feature event, but been a tough night for our Roadster drivers. Dominic King trying to see if he can hold on for his second victory of the year. 3 laps to go here in tonight's feature event. Is Steven Seed will go into second. Justin Buttorf was being checked out during that caution, and apparently there is troubles for your point leader, and this will tighten up that battle. As we mentioned, coming in, it was only 8 points separating Buttorf and Suit, and right now the 99 of Suit is up into second. 65 of John Hammett third. 36 of Brian Skelly. He is in the number 4 spot, followed by the 27 of Robert Martin. Leaders coming back to the line. They will be looking at the white flag this time by. Dominic King, our second winner in 2025 here. Justin Buttorf had got a couple. And then Dominic stepped into victory lane tonight. He's going to find his way back for a second time. Dominic King taking our J&R Towing SCDRA Roadster event. 99 of Steven Suit, 65 of John Hammett, 36 of Brian Skelly, and the 27 being powered by Robert Martin. They make up the top 5 here in tonight's finale. We'll have words with Dominic King down at victory lane for the second time in the 2025 season. In the meantime, fans, again, we thank you for coming out and spending part of your Labor Day weekend with us here at Potomac Speedway. As we mentioned, our next event, September 26th and 27th, big 2-day show. Final points on Friday night for many of our lower divisions. Then on Sunday the 27th, a $10,000 to win Super Late Model event is part of the Fall Clash. Demo Derby coming up next Saturday, September 6th and the 13th. So if you want to see some Demo Derby action, be sure and check that out as well. As you leave the Speedway, put your hands together. We're going to get down to VP Fuels, Victory Lane, and Billy Hill with Dominic King, our winner.
Okay, race fans, climbing out of the number 18, tonight's Roadster feature winner, Dominic King. Dominic, first of all, congratulations on the win. You were right there with Lawman. Looks like he had some problems with his wheel. I don't know if you see what's behind that sign, so I don't know how many more laps you would have been able to hold on. Steven Suit was there behind you, and Justin was there, but you were able to hold them all. Definitely a caution-filled race, but you were able to work through all the cautions and take the win. Let's talk about that race.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I knew that tire was going. I could feel it. It was getting slick. But we had wiring issues with this thing last week.
All right, yeah, I know it takes a lot to keep these cars running, and you have to thank your sponsors and all your crew.
J&R Towing, J&R Recycling, and all these guys that always put up with me.
All right, sir. Well, you're a 2-time feature winner this year. Congratulations. Enjoy Victory Lane, sir. All right, buddy, we're going to sign off from down here. We'll send it back up to you.
All right, Billy, thank you. Great job again tonight. Again, congratulations out to all of our feature winners here on Labor Day weekend. And on behalf of David and Missy and our entire crew, for Billy Hill downstairs, Wesley Alton with the Modified Mafia Tour, I'm Buddy Long. Have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. Certainly hope you see here for the Demolition Derbies. If not, be sure to be back September 26th and 27th, a big 2-day show. Final points for a lot of our classes and a big $10,000 to win Super Late Model race on the 27th. So we certainly hope you can join us. Have a great rest of your racing weekend, and please drive carefully on your way home.